Hi, everybody. This is Lyndsey Parker here at Licorice Pizza for LPTV. We're here with Ryan, Michelle, and Paul from Canons. We just had a big autograph signing for Everything Glows, their new album. You had a really big turnout. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. And thank you, Licorice Pizza, for hosting this. That means a lot to us.
It means a lot to the fans too. I mean, it's like 90 degrees out today in the valley, and they stood in line in the sun. Hopefully, we're wearing the sunscreen because you have such loyal fans. It must feel really nice because you've been gone from it like 3 years or so, and a lot has happened since the last record, which we can get into. So it seems like the fans were really excited to be back here and have this moment with you.
Yeah, this is our first record signing that we've done actually in
Literally
a record shop.
Ever, or just for this record?
Ever, right? We haven't
first,
signed
designated signing,
Yes.
yeah, because we've signed vinyl, like fans will come up to us.
X shows.
Yeah.
So did you have any nice moments out there with anything the fans said to you that really like gladdened your heart?
Oh yeah. One of our fans almost made me cry. Well, she got me teary-eyed. Yeah,
I think she definitely got us all teary-eyed.
She was just telling us that like how important our music is and how much it's helped her through her life, and just the message on this album is something that people really need. And my dad is no longer here, but he came to me in a dream and told me that this album is something that people really need right now. So when she said that, then I started, and she was crying, then my eyes started watering.
And then she started crying, and I started crying. And then Paul started crying.
Yeah, so that's really sweet.
Yeah.
It's really sweet. So yeah, let's talk about the message of the record. It's called Everything Glows, which is a very apt title because there's a lot of, no pun intended, joy in the record. It was written during some dark times and inspired by some things that you guys were, particularly you, Michelle, were going through. But it's not a heavy album. It's not a sad album. So it seems like, I don't know if I want to use the word rebirth, but it seems like there's a renewed sense of excitement. You've been a band since 2013 or so. You've been through a lot, but it seems like you're very energized on this record.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely feel like the message on the album is kind of like the idea that we all come here with like a spark and like a light inside of us, that many things happen throughout your life that maybe by a certain point dampens it. You can't really see it sometimes when life gets really heavy. But there's things that happen that might seem tough, but there's a lesson in it that like can be learned and can bring you back to like this knowing of inner joy that you can make on your own. And I feel like I've done that personally through being in this band, and it has brought me so much joy, so much like purpose, and like all of the trials and stuff that we've been through over the past 4 years since we started touring and stuff has taught me so many lessons that like I'm like, this is tough, this is so hard, but at the end of the day, once I've learned this lesson it's been trying to teach me, there's so much like light that comes from making it through a tough situation, finding out how to move forward in a new way. And that's kind of like the birth of this album. We found a whole new way of working together, working in general, keeping, we really want to be a band that has longevity. So there's like a specific way I feel like you have to work, so you don't burn out. And
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that. We'll start with the single, These Nights, because if I'm interpreting it correctly, it's sort of about worrying that you're going to burn out, that you're not going to be able to keep doing this for so long. And obviously you've had some health problems, and I know that it was hard on the last tour, this demand you have to always be on, whether it's in interviews or whether it's just, your persona, or certainly if you're touring a lot. And These Nights seems to be like you're kind of questioning, like, can I still do this anymore? Maybe a little bit of imposter syndrome. So why don't you, maybe I'm getting it wrong.
You're right on. Okay. Yeah, you're right on the ball with it. That one was definitely towards the beginning of writing the album. And for me specifically, my experience through the last tour that we did, I had been very anemic and I had a lot of things wrong with me that I didn't know. So I needed to go to the doctor, get some blood work done, and see what was wrong there. But that was written before I did any of that. So later I found out low iron causes very
Is it low
depressive
ferritin.
Yes,
Was it?
that
Yeah.
was very low.
I
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I confused it with they said, oh, it shows itself as severe depression and things. So I came back from tour and I was just in this low state that I'm just can I even perform again? Can I even write a good song? Can I show up the way that I want to show up? And I had all these questions that in a way it's kind of cool to see the progression of my confidence throughout the album, because the beginning was a very unconfident kind of fearful place that it started out, but with that song the music is so beautiful and so kind of juxtaposes the feelings that I had, that it makes it feel safe to be in that space. I think that song does.
Do you mind me asking if when you were trying to figure out what was going on with you, if you got any dismissive treatment from doctors, saying, oh, you're just depressed.
Oh,
You're just working too hard.
I'm telling you, it took me so long to figure out what was wrong with me because of that. So I had gone to so many different doctors. It took 3 months to actually get to the bottom of it because of dismissive treatment and telling me that it's something smaller than it was and not doing thorough checkups and stuff on everything. So yeah,
It's better now.
I'm great now. Yes. I had to have a surgery and really just pay attention and trust my body and take care of myself a little bit better, what I need, and that's going to make a huge difference with the longevity thing.
Absolutely. So you mentioned sort of working differently together then. And it's my understanding that while you were sort of taking a rest and prioritizing your health, that Ryan and Paul, you guys had to sort of write differently than the way you normally do, or work differently. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, I had 6 weeks where I couldn't meet up, and I told the guys don't let me stop you. Keep going to the studio and keep writing.
So we did.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean,
you must have
I
been a
guess
bit
so.
worried about
We were
everything
in the studio for a little bit, and we were trying to think of what would Michelle write about? So we kind of they brainstormed it a little bit and came up with a couple of songs, and then there were just us trying to think of something that Michelle would. Oh, what would Michelle write about? Or what's Michelle feeling? Kind of thing. So yeah,
They did an amazing job at that, because once I had the brain space to listen and pay attention to what was going on, deep listen. One of the songs that ended up on the album, I heard it and I was just how did you guys know? This is how I feel. These are words and things and images that I would have wanted to put in a song, but I just didn't think to. But it's so me, and so I normally I definitely, if I'm singing the song, I want to feel whatever I'm saying is true to me, or else I don't want to, I don't want to be singing something every night. Songs are I feel it's really important, the words that are coming out of my mouth every single night.
I didn't realize that they were writing lyrics.
Yeah.
That's unusual. Had that ever been, were you always the primary lyricist before?
Well, there's a way that we write. So usually when they always start the songs, because I don't play any instruments. So they always start the songs. They always usually have melodies in there. They'll have lyrics in there. And then I will always change them to make it feel like a story that is genuine to me that I want to share. Move them around.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that the lyrics are ever even 90% done, because obviously she needs room to come up with something that she can relate to. So sometimes there'll be a verse, and then you'll be oh, I can see where this is going.
Yeah.
And then she her lyrics to the next verse are a callback to the first verse that's personal to her, and then she'll take a chorus. So it's really collaborative.
Yeah.
I feel there's like I said, you've been a band together for almost 15 years. 13 years or so.
20, 25.
Something like that.
Who's counting?
Quite some time.
But there's obviously a great sense of trust that I don't know if you could have worked this way together or gone through a crisis like this together if you were on your first or second album.
I probably not, because I feel for me personally, the reason I even wanted to make songs or join a band is because I love writing. That's the only thing. I went to in school. I just studied creative writing, and writing is that's what I love. So I would probably, even if it was amazing, I'd be like, but I wasn't there to write it, so I wouldn't want to put it out. But now, yes, we've worked together so long that like the songs I want to create the best song we possibly can, and I feel like there's no that weird like ego-based thing in the room that might have been the first year where I'm like, but I need to contribute this, and we're all in the same space where we're just like, what's going to be the best thing we can do and like bring out the best in each other's talents and stuff.
I also think at the end of the day, the three of us collectively form our sound.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
there's no egos in it.
There's so little ego, we have to force Ryan to write solos.
It's true.
That is true.
Yeah.
Stop
I don't
doing
know
that to me. I don't want any more
so
solos.
good.
I think it's awesome that you guys met. Is it true that you met on Craigslist? I don't know if bands still meet on Craigslist. I don't know if
I hope
that's still a thing.
I don't think
It's like
so.
it's dangerous now.
Chance encounters or
Yeah.
missed encounters or whatever. Like how, but you were looking for a band. You didn't want to be a solo act.
Yes, I was too. So yeah, that was the thing. I finished school. I got out of. I liked writing. I liked writing poetry, and then I was like, I love music. I would like to try writing songs, but I've never been in a band. I don't want to go into like this solo artist type of world because that scared me. And I wanted to grow with people. Because, like if you're a female that's trying to make some songs,
Especially in Los Angeles.
it seems scary to just like hop from producer to producer. So I was like, I want to meet people I feel safe with and I can learn from them and grow. So I wanted a band. And I did go to Craigslist. Didn't know where else
Did
to
you
go.
place the ad or answer the ad?
Place it.
What'd the ad say?
Just that I wanted to start a band and what type of music that I liked and wanted to write photo of myself and maybe a SoundCloud link of some songs that were just like half finished ones. And then Ryan.
And then I found your ad.
Yeah.
I found her ad looking for a similar artist that she posted. We were really into at the time.
Do you remember what artist?
Yeah, it was the dark wave. I don't know if it's just a guy. Trust, TRST.
Yeah, with the slash.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like coincidentally, she was living like around the block from where I used to work out here, actually in like Valley Village, Studio City area. And when we got a hold of each other, I don't think we met each other for like a month, right? Paul and I were already working on some music, and we sent her some files, and she was able to kind of do like the whole postal service thing, sending it back and forth through
I thought you meant the band, the Postal Service.
Yeah, we did postal service covers for the first couple months, and people really liked it. But no, I vividly remember hearing Michelle, her voice on a demo. My wife was with me at the time. She's over there. Hi. It was like Thanksgiving or something. We were driving home and I'm like, listen to her voice. I was like, this is absolutely amazing. I think we have something here.
Did you get any skeevy replies? Because Craigslist can be a bit unsavory. And
Here I am.
I mean, eventually it worked out.
Trust me. Yes, honestly, like after the first couple replies, I was like, I'm just not even going to open these like emails. And I don't think I did because you just found me.
What is it about mine?
I think you found me on like social media.
I think
right?
I found you on
Facebook or something.
Slid into your DM?
Yeah, I probably did.
Something. Yeah, something, and I could see who.
AOL
Please
Instant
sing
Messenger.
It was just a normal, yeah.
Please.
And yet it wasn't skeevy.
It was chill, and then we met up at a coffee shop, in Studio City, and it felt like you were already my friend. Like it felt like I already knew you, and then when we all worked on music together, it felt like this is what we were supposed to be doing. Like nothing felt out of place. It just felt like this is one of those things in life where you're just like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And we just kept doing it.
What was the LA scene like at that time? Or sort of the tail end, I guess, of what the kids now call indie sleaze. I don't know so this is like, what, 2013, 2015, around there?
2013.
What was it like? Where was your first gig? Was it in LA?
It was actually out in our hometown, Santa Clarita, at a local dive bar. Can I mention their name? Used to be called the Rendezvous. Now it's 8th and Rail. It's really, really, really small bar. And what's really bizarre is how many people showed up.
Yeah.
It was packed.
We did expect a couple people, maybe like just 3
Friends
people.
and family.
I'm not even sure how it was so packed. Like, how did they even find our music?
That was a really cool thing in the beginning. That like we always had fans coming to our shows
Yep.
just by finding us on SoundCloud and through
So you must have-
blogs, through like the blog.
The blogs, yeah. Tumblr, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
So that you must have realized kind of early on then you were on to something.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely
Yeah.
felt like we had something. And if just people would just listen to it, that it would catch on eventually.
Yeah.
Got to put a plaque outside the Rendezvous. It's like Canons played their first
They
gig
should.
here.
To be honest, it actually stressed me out a little bit because like I said, I didn't think deeply about what it was to be a performer and like sing and get on stage. I just liked writing. So to have a bunch of people show up at our first couple shows, all of a sudden, then we were asked to start playing shows, and like I had no experience getting on stage in front of people or singing live because in a studio it's completely different.
I
You
was
can do a million
unaware of
takes.
that. I'm very surprised by that. No, because obviously you're a great performer and you've
Thank you.
done a bunch of great gigs. You've played like K-Rock, Weenie Roast
So
level
much.
gigs. So I'm
Yeah.
surprised. At what
Yeah.
point were you like, okay, I got this? Like, do you feel that way, or do you still get nervous?
Oh, it was a whole learning experience that like is never ending, honestly. But I do feel like I actually got the time this past year since we were home, got the time to take vocal lessons all year. And this album, I'm excited for even to keep going and writing our next album because every single album that we've worked on, there's just been so much growth in a way for me, which is with my voice and like learning how to use it the way I want to.
Learning in your craft.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Is that tied at all to the health struggles you had? Like, did you have to like not relearn how to sing, but did it affect your voice or your breath control or anything?
For sure. I love this. I love Everything Glows. And one of the cool things about it is I had horrible breath support for like half of the album. Because I had a stomach surgery and it was hard to breathe. So it took me some time to get my breath support back, but now I'm in great shape and ready to tour. And yeah, all that stuff. I've been on a whole learning journey.
Well, I did want to ask
since I got on stage.
Mm-hmm.
I did want to ask about, obviously you're going to tour to support this record, and this isn't even specific to you. This is like any artist being on the road, even if you're at like the Rolling Stones level where you're going straight from like, 5-star hotel, limo, show, Learjet, like even if you have all the luxuries of being the most A-list artist, touring's grueling. It's hard on the body. You don't, the sleep deprivation, the time changes, and then obviously feeling the pressure, like we talked about with these nights, to deliver every night. Like, so
It's hard.
since you had some struggles and that came up on the last tour, and now you've gotten better, and you've learned about taking care of yourself. As this tour comes up, how are you going to pace yourself or manage that? Like, what have you learned about setting boundaries, about what you can do and can't do or won't do?
Well, I think the last run of dates and stuff for us was a big learning experience for us, just in general, knowing how many like flight dates we can even do on a tour and different things. Because the last tour we opened for an artist and we did that tour, and then we did a headline tour in between the dates that we were opening for that artist, and we were flying all around. We were in survival mode. We didn't want to say no to anything.
But you feel like you got to strike while the iron's hot. If people are offering you cool stuff, you got to say yes.
That's what we felt. And that's the quickest way to burn out. And I think we've reached a point where we're just like, we make good music. We're proud of what we do. We have more confidence in the fact that like taking care of ourselves and mentally and physically is number one. And that's in showing up fully to each thing we do instead of, having 15% that day because we're exhausted from, So just honestly showing up fully. And
You said boundaries, which like is something I always think about now. That like it wasn't even in my vocabulary when we first started, but I can't tell you how important it is to just be like to say no to things and to really take care of yourself. Boundaries.
I know you've had a lot of changes, like behind the scenes, like new management, new, just generally a new team.
What else do you know about us? This is
I
interesting.
do my research.
Love
I do
it.
my
Love
research.
it, yeah.
I'm just wondering if that was because you need a team, a support system that isn't going to push you to do things and be like, no, you got to do this gig. And we'll respect it when you say, or be the person who says no for you, who'll be the bad guy and say, hey, no, they're not doing that or whatever. Do you have a good team around you that's like supporting all this?
Yes. We reached a point where like we needed, Canons was growing, our fan base was growing, everything that was asked from us was just kept growing and growing. And we knew that we needed a bigger team. And I do feel like our, who we were working with before needed help. And it got to the point where it was just like everyone was burnt out and the team needed to be bigger. So we had to cut ties because we needed a bigger team, basically. And then we spent some time, looking for new management, and we went from 1 manager to 4. So now we have a fantastic team.
You have more managers than you have band members.
I know.
You got like a spare.
I never thought about that till now.
Yes.
No, that's awesome. So I keep bringing up this theme of rebirth and, renewed passion, whatever. And we talked a little bit about how For Everything Glows, you kind of wrote or collaborated in a different way you're not used to. I mean, you were forced to. But what other kind of new things did you do when approaching this record with that kind of renewed sense of excitement?
Quite a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think we definitely had the time to pause, reset, and go, what are we going to do going into this album that we've never done before, now that we have the time? And we're like, wait, we have all these resources, right?
Mm-hmm. So we've never used.
That we've never really tapped into. So why don't we try to we grew up listening to like epic records, like, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon and ELO records and all these like really big, lush sounds. I think Paul might have come up with the idea of like, let's add some strings.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I had the idea of that, and our new management was like, well, I know a guy. So he got,
always knows a guy.
I wish I knew his
You
name.
got 4, man. Between the 4 of them, someone's got
They got 4 guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a guy that they hooked us up with that wrote us some really lush strings. I wrote a little bit of it too.
Mm-hmm.
And we went into Sunset Studios.
Sunset Sound
Yeah,
Studios.
Sunset Sound Studios, which is a legendary studio. Prince recorded there, apparently.
He played basketball there
And
too.
I played basketball. And so did we.
Rolling Stones did Sympathy for the Devil there, if I'm not mistaken.
It's amazing.
Somehow I have that fact in my head.
And that was like a religious experience, being there watching the...
We did a few co-writes on the album with some people that we really loved writing with.
Anyone of note that people might like recognize the name or their credit?
Yeah. What is Mona's last name?
Yes.
Mona.
Mm-hmm.
Fabulous. Susie Chin. Yeah, just a few really... I don't think we wanted to like work with like 16 songwriters on one song. Amanda, who goes under Amander, MNDR.
MNDR?
Yeah.
I know MNDR.
Yeah.
Not to name drop, but she is great.
Yeah.
She
She's
did a lot of
really
stuff
wonderful.
with Mark Ronson.
She's
was
amazing.
very
She
generous.
actually, I don't know, you probably know this, but for people, she subbed for Nick Rhodes of Duran Duran
Yeah.
on keyboards when Nick Rhodes had to attend to some family matters. She was the substitute Nick Rhodes.
I didn't know that one.
Wow.
This woman's legit.
Yeah.
She's very
Totally
cool.
legit. Yeah. Just a small, close group of musicians that we really admired. And for anyone listening, I think it's like we wouldn't have worked with them and like sold out. And, these are things that we really, really wanted to do. And we wouldn't have put it out if we felt otherwise. So
Yeah. There was that openness, I think, to this album that I was talking about. Sorry, might not have been there in the beginning of Canons in a certain way, because we were just like in this point where we're like, let's try some things.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to use anything that we don't like. It's our world we're creating. I always want to be learning from people, trying new things, and we did. Yeah. It got in this different studios, met up every day, or a couple times a week.
It was refreshing.
Yeah, it was really fun. Mm-hmm.
Well, now you have this renewed sense, this camaraderie as a band. I'm so happy that your health is doing well. And you said you're
Thank you.
already excited for the next album.
Yeah.
What is next? What do you pie in the sky? What do you want to do with Canons next on the next record? Do you want to get ELO to come in the studio? I co-sign that, Jeff Lynne. But yeah, what are you on? In all seriousness, what would be your next goal, your next chapter?
Yeah, MJ.
Oh, I just know that I know how to use my voice a lot better, so I want to be able to expand there.
Focus on tour, right? Like, I think that's the main thing right now. Just which starts on Monday.
Yeah, so maybe there will be some things along the way that'll inspire this next album.
Yeah, I think more instruments maybe that we haven't really tapped into.
Yeah,
I know that
Sitar.
there's this really fun anti-AI thing going on, which is really cool. A lot of people are they're back in garage band mode, which is really neat, and people are playing real instruments. I don't know.
Yeah,
Just do it all.
I definitely heard a song with like a really amazing old organ the other day that I was like, I want this in a Canon song. So
It sounded
harps,
old.
yes,
how old
very
would you
old
say
and
the organ
it
was?
was like, I don't know. It sounded like something. Remember when you found a tape in your house that sounded very creepy, but it was cool?
Totally
Okay.
creepy.
So,
Well, I'm very excited for whatever you do next. I want to thank you for coming to
my
Licorice
God, we
Pizza.
wanna
Spend
thank you.
so much time with not just me, but with the fans out there. I know that you are choosy or whatever. You choose what you're going to do to promote this album and how you're going to extend yourself. You're choosy about it. You have your boundaries, as they say. So we all really appreciate that you chose to spend time with us today.
Thank
You guys
you.
are the best.
thank
you,
so
Licorice
much.
Pizza.
You guys
Beautiful
are the best.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
And
You're
so
the
are you
best.
guys. We're all the best.
We're the best.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.